What's going on, everybody? It's How To Tuesday, and today we're going to talk about how to make sure that you are tying the best knot. And the only real way to know that you are tying the best knot is to compare it to other knots on a scale. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do today. And this is what I do to determine the knots that I'm going to tie. And I will say this, there are some knots that someone else might tie stronger than your knots, but it's all about what you tie. So you want to test your knots, the way you tie them, with the material that you use, with the glove that you use, with everything that you use, so that you're going to replicate that perfectly when you go out on the boat, and you're going to know whether you're tying the strongest knot or a weaker knot. So today we're going to use the J braid 8, which is 20-pound test Daiwa right there. That's what I tied these knots with. And we're going to tie the 20-pound test to 50-pound test fluorocarbon, J fluoro. And this is what I use all the time. I use these two. So these are the ones that I'm going to test. I don't want to experiment with some new ones at home. I want to try exactly what I'm going to use on the boat. Now, in order to do any sort of a test, you need a scale. And this is a fancy scale that I'm very thankful to have. It's a Next Tech force tester. And what the Next Tech force tester will do, and lots of other ones will do the same thing, but it'll have a peak deal. So what it's going to record is, as I pull on this, and when it reaches its peak strength and breaks, it's going to record that, and it's going to leave it right there on the screen for me to see. Now, you can do this with just a regular scale and a friend who you're going to look, and he's going to be calling out the number. You're up to 15, 16, 17, pow. Okay, you're at 17 and a half. Okay, somebody needs to be watching it or something. So if you want to be super techie about it, get something like this. Or otherwise, you can use just a Chatillon scale or any sort of digital scale. But if it will record the peak, that's even better. So what I've done, we're going to try this today with two important knots to tarpon fishing, and that's why we're using 20-pound to 50-pound. That's a pretty common braid to fluorocarbon leader for tarpon or whatever you're fishing for. 20 to 50 is pretty common. So we have the Slim Beauty, which is a knot that you can tie without a bimini twist. If you want to learn how to tie this knot, you just click one of the links here and you can see that. We've got videos on that. So the Slim Beauty versus the Double Uni knot. And so I have tied 2 of each of these, and we're going to break them and take the average. So what we would do is I've tied the knot, the braid to the fluorocarbon, and then I'll put a loop in it like this. The loop is going to go over the end of the scale, and then I'm going to wrap this around my hand, and we're going to pull real hard until it breaks. And this scale will tell us where it's going to break. So it is very important that you have either a glove or something to wrap this around. And as you're tying your leaders, you want to make sure that you've left enough that you can get a couple of wraps around your hand. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get enough to break it. So what we're going to do, put that on there, and we'll pull on it and see when it breaks. It's pretty strong. That broke at 18.81 pounds. Okay, so that was the Slim Beauty, and we'll compare that to the Double Uni. So the Double Uni knot is another very popular knot. I'm going to wrap this around my hand, make sure that I got the glove on, put that on the scale. And this one, you have to hit reset, so you're back to 0. Okay, now I'm sitting at 0. It will give you, if it falls off, it will stay on that. So now I'm going to pull again. Okay, and that broke at 19.28. Okay, so maybe that's good enough for you. I like to do it again with both of them. So again, the Slim Beauty. Going to zero out the scale. Put that on there. Wrap it around my hand. Okay, here we go. Reset the scale. Put it on here. This is the Slim Beauty number 2. We're going to pull on this. That one broke at 20.56. Okay, so we got an 18 and a 20.56. Now we'll go with the Double Uni one more time. Zero it out. That on there. Okay, here we go. Both of them were stronger, 21.52. So what I can tell is that the Double Uni is a little bit stronger than the Slim Beauty with this particular line combination. So if I want to make sure that I am landing as many fish as possible, then I'm going to opt to tie the Double Uni over the Slim Beauty for this particular knot combination. Now, you might find that if you try some different materials and some different pound test leaders or braid, that you might get a different result. But it's important to try it a couple of times so that you can really, really figure out which knots you're tying the best and which knots you're tying the strongest. And that 1 pound difference, that could be whether you break the fish off or whether you don't, or whether your client breaks the fish off or whether they don't, whether you win the tournament or whether you don't. So in fishing, we're trying to control the controllable. The best captains in the world control all the controllable factors. Knots are one of the most controllable factors because you can test them at home. You can test them before you even get on the boat, and you can know with 100% confidence that this knot is better than that knot. And I'll tell you what, if you want, I think it would be really cool to have a little knot battle. And we could take any knot you want and test it on this scale. And we could do that over the next few How To Tuesdays or over the course of the summer or whatever. We could have a knot battle. So if you have knots that you think are the strongest, text them to me, 305-930, 930-7346. 305-930-7346. Text me your favorite knot and a knot that you think it's stronger than. And we'll do a couple more of these, and we'll test it on the scale, and we'll let that be the judge. All right, that's How To Tuesday for today. We'll see you next week.